What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some news to counterpunch concerning Oleksandr Usyk and Wladimir Klitschko, okay? I was reading an article, and I had to get around to it. I read it a couple days ago. I have to counterpunch it because this is very valid information. According to Johnny Nelson says that Oleksandr Usyk bossed Wladimir Klitschko in sparring to the point where he was slugged out, says Johnny Nelson. He says the undefeated 32-year-old is preparing, of course, to make his debut, or was actually. And according to Nelson, the former undisputed cruiserweight champion made life very tough for fellow Ukrainian Klitschko several years ago, okay? Dr. Steelhammer, which is Wladimir Klitschko, 43, was preparing for his blockbuster clash with Tyson Fury in 2015 and stepped in the ring with Usyk for a sparring session. Now, get this. But the cat took apart boxing legend Klitschko to the point where he slugged him out of the ring to avoid embarrassment with the international press. Nelson told Behind the Gloves, irate Usyk, when I saw him sparring with Wladimir Klitschko, Wladimir was preparing for Tyson Fury. I had no idea, but I knew there was something special about him. He did one round with Wladimir, and Wladimir slung him out and said, get out, not while the press is still here. He was making it hard for Wladimir. He was like bossing Wladimir. Get him out. Get someone else in, said Wladimir Klitschko. Klitschko would eventually lose against Fury in a stunning upset and would fight again in Anthony Joshua in his final bout in 2017. Okay? Now, you know, we're looking at Usyk. We're looking at Wilder. We're looking at Ruiz. We're looking at Joshua. We're looking at White, you know, because he's coming back. You know, I got a video to post on him pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. But what does this mean? Okay. You got a guy that just entered the heavyweight division, a Ukrainian, a fellow Ukrainian of Dr. Steelhammer. Wladimir Klitschko. Wladimir Klitschko was feared. That's why the heavyweight division was considered dark. Okay? Why? Because the Klitschkos ran the division. No one could beat the Klitschkos. You either made it ugly or you didn't. You still lost with either Vitaly or Wladimir Klitschko. Okay? That's why the significance of Fury beating Klitschko was such a big deal. Maybe, hey, there's a light, there's a spark in the heavyweight division, and the heavyweight division is about to be reset, okay? But Fury did not defend. Fury had his own problems, as we know, so it went back in limbo. Wladimir Klitschko was still hungry. He's still in shape. Like, I feel he is still in shape to this day. However, the first fight this happened, one round, Usyk made him look bad. According to Johnny Nelson, he bossed him. You know, he ran Wladimir Klitschko to the point Wladimir threw him out because he's going to make it look bad on the press, people. Okay? One round. That's all he gave Usyk. In one round, Usyk was able to do things that made Wladimir do that. How many times did Wladimir do those type things in sparring to other fighters? Think about that. Think about this. Wladimir Klitschko has many, many weapons in his arsenal. You know, Tyson Fury said it himself. With Klitschko, you had to worry about his jab, his left hook, his uppercut, his right hand. Okay? You had to worry about every punch because he could knock you out with 2 or 3 weapons, not just one big right hand. Right? He had 2 or 3. He had an arsenal of weapons that he could beat you with. Okay? Someone's throwing you out of the ring due to embarrassment says a lot. Okay? Sparring to me is a lot. You train how you fight, people. You think, oh, it's just sparring. That's when you're supposed to get hit. No, not in that way. So that tells you something about Usyk. That tells you that his ring IQ is more than meets the eye. That tells you that he's in the right division. He made the right decision. He didn't retire after he dominated the whole division of the cruiserweight. Right? And what do we know that Wladimir did to Mr. Deontay Wilder? You see where I'm going with this? Deontay Wilder, the same guy that was dropped many times in sparring when he faced Klitschko. Shelly Finkel knew it, the boss of the manager of both. He knew it. He managed them. He was in close management with Wladimir Klitschko. That's why he knew, I am not going to put my baby champion in there with this Ukrainian fucker. No way. So really, Shelly Finkel, I think he wanted to protect Deontay. Honestly, I think, you know, Deontay and Shelly have this relationship, you know, where, hey, if you don't, I won't put you in a fight that I don't think you can win. You know, and I think that's what it is. Now looking at that, you know, in hindsight, Shelly Finkel, you know, he's been working with Deontay a long time. He knows what his limitations are. He knows the story of sparring. He knows that that would be a bad fight for Deontay. Someone tall, someone that has those type of weapons in his arsenal like Wladimir Klitschko would hurt his baby champion and stunt his growth. But then yet, few years ago. Now, I'm saying a few years ago. This was 4 years ago, more like, because this was 2015. So 4 years ago, Usyk goes in there, sparring Wladimir Klitschko. Wladimir Klitschko saved face by throwing him out of the ring because he was getting bossed. Now, these are facts. This article is from Johnny Nelson, not with me. So Johnny Nelson's seen this. This is why he reported this. This is why he's saying these things. But Usyk is where? The heavyweight division. The same division that, according to not just Deontay Wilder, I'm not singling him out. Dillian White said the same thing. Joshua said he needs a couple fights. So, you know, he has some doubters, plural, that said, hey, he's too small. Like White said, he's too small. I'll beat him up. I'll rough him up. Deontay Wilder, he ain't a threat. He's too small. Joshua thinks, hey, yeah, he needs a couple fights and, you know, he should be good to go. Joshua pretty much gave him the best type of encouragement to be in the division, right? But, you know, I mean, who says Joshua is a hater? You know, he'll probably say less than anyone anyway. But looking at what he did to Klitschko, knowing that Klitschko was prohibited to, or should I say Wilder was prohibited to fight Klitschko, and Usyk was able to do that to a taller fighter, the same height as Wladimir Klitschko. What does that tell us? That tells us that he's accustomed to fighting guys bigger than him. Okay, so Andy Ruiz is not the only guy that's accustomed to fighting guys taller that likes or prefers to fight guys taller. This is what that tells you. If Usyk can do that shit to Wladimir Klitschko with all the weapons in his arsenal, what do you think would be the outcome of a fight between him and Deontay Wilder if Deontay can't land that special, God-gifted Alabama sledgehammer? What do you think the outcome of that going to be? You think Deontay's going to outbox Usyk? You know what I'm saying? So let's just be real about this. This is very important. This is a discussion that we need to really discuss. I would go live with this, but I have to go live, you know, with something else that's more important at the time. You know, Mr. Patrick Day, God bless the dead. I will go live soon after I post this. So stay tuned for that, guys. But yeah, this raises a big question now. Is Usyk out of place? Is he too small? You know, is he a threat to the heavyweight division? Based on what we know, what he did to Wladimir Klitschko, the legend. Okay? Vladimir knew what he was doing because he is still the man. He was the man when he was sparring him. This is before Vladimir's defeat to Tyson Fury, mind you. This is before Joshua, mind you. This was before that loss that made Vladimir who Vladimir was when he came in there with Joshua. Okay? So be that as it may, the man can fight. The man shows you that he belongs in the ring if he's able to boss a legend. Anyway, You guys tell me what you think about Vladimir Klitschko and Oleksandr Usyk, according to Johnny Nelson. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.